Hey guys, MBSC1 again, and I said I would post an updated Seismitoad list in the future, and it took me a little bit longer than I thought because I just didn't get to test the deck enough. And at first, I actually just didn't want to post it because I felt like it was really groundbreaking and like people weren't going to realize what I thought of, and it was going to be a great idea that only I knew about. But that is not what ended up happening. A couple other people had the same ideas as me, and it worked pretty well. But I figured since some of the people that had the same ideas as me in my league did have those ideas, then you'll probably come to the same conclusions too. So I figured I would just, sorry about that, I would just post the list. So I'll start with Pokemon. That's probably the most interesting part of it. My friend's ghastly Matt. Um, so it's more of a Mewtwo deck now, actually. We have 3 Mewtwo. I just find that I'm going towards using Mewtwo so much of the time that I would just go up to 3 and go my Seismitoad down my can't talk. My Seismitoad count down to 2. So 3 Mewtwo is basically just so that I can X-Ball turn 1 like every game. Mewtwo is just really good in this deck. I find that this format, Mewtwo is just an extremely powerful attacker. Um, yeah, I mean, Yveltal's better, but the thing is Dark Patch is rotated, so uh, that being said, Mewtwo it kind of becomes better. So for that reason, I like Mewtwo a lot in this deck. And just in general, also 3 makes it so that you pretty much win the Mewtwo War every time. So I like 3 a lot, and I think it's very good. This is more a Mewtwo deck than anything, honestly. There's 2 Seismitoad. Um, I still maintain that Seismitoad is extremely good. It's just that in this current format, I feel like 2 is only really necessary. I feel like Mewtwo comes in handy against too many things more than Seismitoad does. If Landorus didn't have a big presence, I probably wouldn't play Seismitoad at all, actually. The low damage output is just too harmful. But at the same time, it can be extremely powerful. So I think 2 Seismitoad is a good count. But don't get me wrong, it's still a very good card. I just don't think more than 2 is necessary. Then I have 2 Virizion. This is a major change. I I like Virizion because it's good if I start with it, because then I can Emerald Slash and power up, Mewtwo, mostly Mewtwo's. And then if I don't, then I can take advantage of his ability so my opponent can't play lasers. And then also I can use Emerald Slash and do 100 to my opponent's Seismitoads, and then I also resist them Quaking Punch me. So pretty much Virizion is just in here so that I can win the mirror match more often. This deck is pretty much entirely tailored to win the mirror match. So be prepared to win a lot of mirror matches using this deck. Or not, though, because this format's just totally luck-based, and if you dead draw or something like that, you pretty much just lose. There's nothing... It's just basically a bunch of luck. But I guess you have a higher percent chance of winning with this deck, so... yeah, basically Virizion is just to counter Seismitoad. So, Virizion's good anyway, though. It's not a bad attacker. It's good for powering stuff up. We have 1 Victini. Victini is just to one-shot Virizion's and Genesects for that matchup. I like it a lot since I added it in. I thought it was really great. The one problem is I have to run Victory Piece instead of Rock Guard, which I don't like at all. But it's still really good, having this Victini, because you give yourself at least a 10 to 15% better Virizion Genesect matchup, in my opinion. So I think Victini is very good in this deck, and I'll probably keep it. I also found myself turbo energizing a couple times yesterday when I was using it, but that's, it's fine. It's still a good attack. We have 1 Dedenne. This is basically the non-EX attacker that I came to using. I was trying to figure out what to use as my non-EX attacker for a while with this deck. I just couldn't figure it out because nothing seemed to fit well. But I think Dedenne is pretty good. You basically can use it for its first or second attack. They're both pretty good. The first one's better for early game, the second one's better for late game. And then the other reason why I added it is because I figured out that Yveltal decks are really not as bad as everyone thought they were going to be. They're still actually fairly good, even without Dark Patch. So, yeah, actually at the tournament I went to yesterday, a guy using a Yveltal deck won the whole thing. So that was really weird to me. But it was mostly just because of his opponent's dead drawing. 3 out of his 5 opponents dead drew. So I'm sure that has something to do with him winning. But anyway, I just added Dedenne because I know people are still playing Yveltal. And then Lugia is still a thing, so Dedenne is great for both of those. Has the ability to one-shot them fairly easily, actually. Then we have one Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is basically just to help the matchup against Landorus decks because Landorus is quite popular at the moment. And they're not really going to try to get Garbodor into play if they see I'm playing Mewtwo and or Seismitoad. So they'll probably just, let that thing get into play. They might try to get Garbodor into play, but that just makes it so it's harder for them. They have to use Ultra Ball to get, Garbodor and Trubbish instead of grabbing more Lucario or something like that. So Mr. Mime just makes it harder on your opponent in that matchup. So I like it for that reason. I also just needed more basics in this deck, so that's why I added Mr. Mime. There's another reason. And then we have 2 Trubbish and 2 Garbodor. This is basically just for the Virizion Genesect matchup, or Virizion Genesect Dragonite. I guess it's good against Plasma too, but Garbodor is not as important as it used to be. It's just kind of in here because it's good in certain matchups, but I could easily take it out for like more consistency cards, like a 4th laser. I really am trying to find the room for a 4th laser, but I'll find it eventually. But yeah, 2/2 Garbodor is just standard, so that's why you're running that. I guess we'll go over the items next. Victory Piece is the A spec. This is just to power up Victini, make it so you can one-shot Virizion Genesect anything weak to grass. Very good. We have 3 Floatstone. I think I might take one of these Floatstone out for the 4th laser. I'm not sure yet though, but as it is now, 3 Floatstone seems to be enough. I do not have enough switching cards in this deck, so 3 Floatstone might be necessary. I literally have 0 switch and no other ways to switch with this deck besides retreating, so that's kind of a problem. But it hasn't been that much of a problem lately, so I think it's okay. I use 3 Ultra Ball. This is basically just to grab any Pokemon. I'd like to have 4, but I really can't find room for it. But 3 seems to be enough, so that's fine. But yeah, when I was using just 2 Super Scoop Up yesterday, which I'm not using anymore, those were the only kind of switching cards I had, and it was okay for this deck. Like, I'd never needed more than that anyway, so it's totally fine. Then I used 3 Muscle Band. This is basically just to make things do more damage. I can't talk. Especially Mewtwo and Seismitoad. So, yeah, this is just great for doing more damage, honestly. And then lasers, we just have 3-2 count. I'd like to do like a 4-3 line, like 4 of these and 3 of those, but I just cannot find room. I'm going to have to find room for the 4th laser. If you guys are watching this and you find room somewhere, just like something that I don't absolutely need, then, try it out for yourself, take out that card and put it in the 4th laser, because that is the 61st card for sure. That is the next thing I'm putting in this deck. So, I'm really not happy with that line. I just don't know where to find room. Then for energy, we just have 4 double colorless, and then 7 grass. Really would like to have 8 grass, but I kind of can't find room for that either. I know this is going to make my Emerald Slashes really inconsistent, because sometimes I'll only get like 1 energy, because that's all that's left. But I really just have reason in there to counter Seismitoad anyway, so I guess just getting energy out of the deck is kind of just more of a plus. If Virizion didn't even have that effect, I'd still use it in the deck probably just to counter Seismitoad, just because it resists and does 50, which is a 2-shot. So yeah, that's why we have this energy. The 4DC is just obvious. I've got Mewtwo and Seismitoad. Obviously, you're going to run double colorless energy. And then for the supporter line, we've got 4N and 4 Juniper. This is just standard in every deck. Great supporters. They've been good since they've came out. 3 Skyla. I run 3 Skyla instead of just 2 for a couple reasons. First one being I can grab Victory Piece with Skyla, so that's really helpful. And then I find a lot of the time I just need like 1 piece of the puzzle to finish the knockout. Like I'll need a laser or a muscle band, and especially when I only run 3 lasers, it's nice to have the extra Skyla so I can just make sure I can grab that last little thing I need to finish off a knockout. Also, I can Skyla for Ultra Ball to grab whatever Pokemon I need, because there's several different Pokemon in this deck, so it's nice to have that. And then also I can just grab a supporter, which is really nice, when you need to. And Random Receiver would also be good for that, but it's an item, so your opponent will lock it if you're going against Seismitoad. That's also why I don't play any Bicycle or any other forms of draw support that come in items, because you can't play them. Then 2 Chorus. This is just a really good supporter. Draw lots of cards. Pretty standard, nothing much to it. And then on top of that, I run 1 Shauna, just because I was getting supporter drains yesterday, and I felt like if I just had like one more draw supporter, I would have been okay in some of my games. But yeah, my two losses were just because of dead drawing, and it was the same way. I just I just didn't have enough Pokemon in play, and then they just knocked out my active, and I had nothing left, and then I lost because the first time because of dead drawing, and the second time just because I couldn't get another Pokemon. So that's why I actually upped it. I originally did not have the Mr. Mime or the Dedenne, but I added those today because I felt like I needed more basics, or else I'm gonna lose. Because yeah, but the one time that I did dead draw and lost was also because I didn't have enough basics. So like if I did run more basic, even if I did have a supporter, it would have just helped that much more because then I would have been able to put something else down and maybe bought myself a couple more turns to draw into a supporter. So that's why I added the more Pokemon and the Shauna. So that could easily be a Chorus if you decide you want it to be a Chorus. I just found that in those situations where I need Shauna, Chorus would not have been helpful, so I figure it's probably more important to run Shauna. We have 3 Lysander, or Lysandre, or however the heck you want to pronounce it. I say Lassant because it's French, but anyway, this is just great for getting whatever Pokemon you want off your opponent's bench. It's super helpful. I really would like to run 4, actually. This card is just super powerful. And it should be obvious that it's super powerful because Catcher was so good back in the day. Back in the day, that was like a year ago. What am I saying? Back in the day. Anyway, yeah, it's just really good supporter. So I've got a lot. And then this is what I ended up putting in instead of Cassius. I'll call you back in just a minute. So yeah, I had Cassius in this deck, and then it just wasn't working very well because it was so situational. And then I would also have to get like rid of my Pokemon with energy on in play, so I would have to make sure that I had another energy in my hand to put down. And Cassius is still good. I still maintain that as a good card. It's just the Team Flare Grunt is good more of the time, it seems like. Especially in the mirror match, when your opponent is using Seismitoad, you can just Team Flare Grunt off their double colorless energy, and then they're in a bad position if they can't get another one, which they about half the time they can't. So Team Flare Grunt is great in those situations. So that's why I have that. And that's about all. Actually, it's kind of a simple deck. It's just got a lot of. It's just really packed. There's not much room for anything in the deck, but it's working pretty well for me. The only losses I really have with the deck are just because of dead drawing or not having enough basics, and I feel like I fixed that. So hopefully it performs well today. Going to another league today, and there'll be a tournament. So wish me luck. I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe for more, and comment if you want to tell me something. Oh, also if you want to be friends with me on Facebook, there's a link to that on my channel. So yeah. Oh, and one more thing. I made this new channel called The Dump, and it's pretty bad. I think I already talked about this in the last video, I'm not sure, but it's just a video where I upload a bunch of random crap if you feel like just watching weird old Modern Warfare 3 videos, or just videos of me and my friends being idiots. So check that out if you want. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.